The Auschwitz camp eventually consisted of three main parts: Auschwitz I, Auschwitz II-Birkenau, and Auschwitz III-Monowitz, along with numerous subcamps. The creation of Auschwitz III-Monowitz was closely tied to the activities of the German company IG Farben Industrie, which, as early as October 1940, began planning to build a synthetic rubber factory in Upper Silesia.
The site was to be located beyond the reach of British bombers, near sources of raw materials and water, and in a place that would provide access to a sufficient labor force. Out of several proposed locations, by early January 1941, the final decision was made to build the factory on a plain east of Auschwitz, near the village of Monowitz. Prisoners from Auschwitz were among those forced to build a plant for IG Farben.
At first, the prisoners assigned to the so-called Buna Labour Commando had to march roughly 7 kilometres from Auschwitz I to Monowitz each day. Starting in mid-1941, to reduce the time spent marching, the prisoners were transported to the construction site by train.
But even that soon turned out to be inadequate. The demand kept growing, and the capacity of the rented train was simply too limited. What's more, having the prisoners who were assigned to work on the factory construction housed together with inmates from the Auschwitz camp posed serious health risks. They were exposed to infectious diseases that could easily spread beyond the camp and infect civilian workers as well.
As a result, in mid-1942, IG Farben's management pressured the SS camp authorities to move the prisoners building the factory from Auschwitz I to a newly created labour camp for forced workers called Arbeitslager Buna. The first group of 500 prisoners was transferred there on October 26. By the end of that year, another 2,000 had been brought to Monowitz. In November 1943, Auschwitz III-Monowitz was formally designated as one of the three main sections of the Auschwitz camp complex. Its commandant was SS-Hauptsturmführer Heinrich Schwarz.
He oversaw 30 subcamps established near industrial plants and mines across Silesia, western Lesson Poland, the Dąbrowa Basin, as well as in parts of the Czech lands and Moravia. Despite somewhat better living conditions in Auschwitz III-Monowitz compared to Birkenau, the prisoners were subjected to extremely hard labor. They grew weak and died, or they were selected for extermination. Those deemed unfit for work were transported to the gas chambers at Birkenau.
During different periods of the camp's operation, the number of prisoners working at Monowitz ranged from several hundred to several thousand. Just before liberation, on January 17, 1945, the camp held 10,223 prisoners. During the January evacuation of 1945, the prisoners from this subcamp were marched to Gliwice and from there transported to the Mauthausen and Buchenwald camps. Auschwitz III-Monowitz was liberated on January 27. After the war, the camp buildings were dismantled. Today, the memory of this site is preserved by a monument standing on its grounds.